Perugia, Italy was where I had made my home for the last 4 months. Arriving with little to no knowledge of the Italian language or culture, I had some catching up to do. I had Italian class every day to learn the skills I would need to survive, but today was going to be different. It was 10:30 a.m., my Italian class had just ended, and as I opened the door to leave, I was hit with a tidal wave of sounds. This was not the usual morning in Perugia. Almost everyone in my school was standing out in the hallway. They are all slowly shuffling towards Aula Magna, the Great Hall. I quicken my pace and fall into step next to one of my friends. It is at this moment I realize today was the start of the challenge. We reach the Great Hall and are being corralled into groups because only so many of us can fit into the room at once. I am one of the first 24 to begin the Solo Italiano challenge. As I leave my friends behind, I utter my last few words of English to them. All 24 of us take our seats and are led through the vow by Ali. The vow explains that from this point on, for the next 2 days, we are only to speak Italian outside of class. A true test of how much we learned in the prior 3 months. We finish the vow and are all given red bracelets so we know who is participating. Awkward smiles are exchanged between the 24 of us as we leave the room in complete silence. When we get out into the hallway, some of the more confident students have begun speaking to each other in Italian, but I mostly just smile in silence. This is until I see my friend Ryan, to whom I say, "In bocca al lupo," which is the Italian equivalent of break a leg. Even though so many students had taken the vow with me and everyone was speaking Italian, I felt oddly cut off by the language barrier. I had trepidation at the beginning. I was afraid of making too many mistakes and sounding like a fool. But the need to communicate overcame my nervousness and I started speaking more. By the first night, I could already tell my Italian was improving. Any conversations I had from this point on were plagued with smiles and laughter. Speaking with my friends was fun because we were all making mistakes, and sometimes in order to convey our point, we would have to explain things in a very different manner. If we did not know a word or the proper conjugation, it was a challenge to figure out how to convey it without using the word you did not know. I really enjoyed speaking only in Italian, and by the end of the second day, I had started thinking in it. We finished the Solo Italiano challenge at a local bar where we played charades with our classmates and local Italians. By the end of the night, I was very glad to go back to speaking English, but also a little sad. I enjoyed only speaking Italian. Something about living in Italy made the words flow out of me and I rapidly improved. I grew as a person over the course of the challenge and definitely experienced something I would never have the opportunity to do in the United States.